5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
Well, I know when I got the text yesterday from Chad Abbott, I said, who's working with me on Friday? I was glad, number one, that he had thought about it.
Because sometimes that does happen.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on. And we're all gone. We're all taking time.
We're all maniacs.
Exactly. He's got a lot of plates spinning. So the last thing he's worried about is who's filling in with Gaardsy on Friday, you know? But when I heard it was you, I've been looking forward to the Top 5 at 5 ever since. Because you like to make it your own.
Yeah.
So let's see what you came up with. You've had a couple of hours.
Sure.
Because you pulled up at 240, and I'm sure you were hoping, I hope Gaardsy doesn't want to do the Top 5 at 5.
See, it's a lot of, I put a lot of seasoning into my cooking.
You do.
And I don't want to cook up a feast if you don't need it. So I didn't cook it up ahead of time. But then you said you needed it, so your boy got out the pots and pans.
All right, let's see what you came up with.
I got out the Lowry seasoning, and we did the damn thing. All right, let's start with something we haven't talked about all day. The Minnesota Twins are in San Diego for a duel with the Dads tonight, looking for their 4th straight win. Speaking of Dads, no Maury Povich was necessary to see the Twins are the father of the Braves, sweeping Atlanta in their previous series. Thanks to the sweep, the Twins are in sole possession of the final wild card spot in the AL. No custody battle necessary. Since the trade deadline, the Twins have mostly been a team only a mother could love. But those sons of a gun have rattled off 3 straight and find themselves firmly in the playoff race.
I mean, what am I supposed to say after that? How are we supposed to pick that up now? That's just too good. Now, hold on. Do you think the kids know who Maury Povich is?
I don't know.
Do the kids, do they know Maury?
He's been kind of making the podcast rounds, so maybe it's coming back around, and maybe it's just my algorithm, which for some reason thinks that I love scantily clad women and videos of old Jerry Springer episodes and more. I can't figure out why it seems to think that I like that stuff.
Yeah, it's strange indeed.
But I have to keep watching the videos of the scantily clad women to get to the bottom of it, you know what I'm saying? But he's been doing a lot of podcast rounds, and it's been going a little bit viral, so maybe the kids are picking back up on Maury Povich. I'm Maury Frovich, that's Maury Povich.
I like that. There was not much that could top when someone wasn't the father.
Oh, it was the best.
And the poor mom is just in shambles.
Oh, she's having the worst day of her life.
And
the guy is doing backflips.
The guy's crowd surfing like PJ Fleck after a win.
Yeah, he's got like a touchdown celebration ready to go.
Spiking the football, and then what is she thinking about? And it's not a good look either if you don't know who the father is. Like that was always a tough scene.
Yeah.
I was always kind of hoping it was the father.
It got considerably less funny once I became a father and once also I grew up and realized the reality of the situation.
Yeah, like that's tough.
Yeah.
I always kind of felt for the moms in those situations. The dad or the non-father, I mean, yeah, probably a relief for sure.
Yeah,
but
best day of his life.
You're going that whole scene.
I told you that was my first vacation in life, right?
I don't think I knew that.
I took the Megabus, shout out to the Megabus, for 33 hours to go to New York City and go see 3 episodes of Maury live. That was my first vacation ever.
I would say this, you've upgraded your vacation game.
I have, just a little bit.
The international flavor that you are. No Megabus for you anymore. You've done a good job. So it was the thing where you got word that you were able to attend.
Yeah.
The more you signed up for Maury.
Because during the commercial breaks, they'd always say, if you want free tickets to the Maury show, 8555-45-MAURY or whatever. And me and my bros were sitting around on the couch. We were like, dog, Maury's old as bleep. He's going to die soon.
We may never get this chance.
We got to go do it. So we copped our free tickets. We hopped on the Megabus 30-plus hours from here to Chicago to New York for $40 and went and saw Maury. And it was one of the greatest moments of my life.
How many episodes? Was it 3 episodes, you said?
Yeah. Everybody gets to see 1. And they said if you're lucky, you get to see 2. But then they needed some extra audience members. So your boy had to volunteer. And we got to see 3.
Wow.
Booing the baby daddies live and in person.
Nothing like it.
No. Injected straight into my veins.
Yeah, I never knew that. You live an incredible life.
Thank you.
Yeah, you live.
I tried to.
Yeah. How was the mega bus?
Oh, it was
What you would expect?
Yeah, it was. There was
Could see some things.
You definitely saw some things, some NSFW, you know, not suitable for work.
Yeah.
Don't think I should mention them over the bumper-to-bumper airwaves. Maybe if it was a power trip, I could say.
Yeah, the after-party podcast.
Yeah, honestly, you're going to need the after-party podcast for that one and the dump button for that one. But I saw some things, man. It was Gomorrah.
We were talking about the Twins, right?
Yeah.
That's how this started?
I think so.
The Twins are 6 out of 10 winning streak away from just locking down the final playoff spot. It's amazing. Can they do it? Who knows? They're also one more losing streak from just being dead.
Right.
We talk about it on Enough Said tonight. Dan is in on Enough Said tonight with Natalie Brinegar, regular times on Fox 9 and Fox 9 Plus. And we talk about it's like they're not a very good team, but there aren't very many good teams, especially in the American League. And so you might as well just go win 6 out of 10 and cement this thing and lock it down.
Right.
And they're the weirdest team ever. They are exactly who they're supposed to be. How they play, how inconsistent they are. That's why they have the record that they have, 63 and 65. This isn't like a surprise. They just kind of are who they are. Will they be the best of the lousiest and the lousiest of the best? We'll find out in a month.
Yeah, to paraphrase Denny Green, they are who we thought they were.
Yeah, I think they're a little better than we thought they were, but they're still not great. Now, what will be interesting is if they do make the wild card, will people care?
Right.
Because you even see the attendance for the Braves. Like, nobody was there. Like, Brett and his dad were there, but they were there cheering for the Braves because his dad lives in Atlanta.
The most packed it's been at Target Field all year was the series against the Dodgers and the Savannah Bananas.
Correct. I was going to say the Savannah Bananas. The Bananas might come up at the top of the 6 o'clock hour, by the way.
Oh, okay.
They might come up as it pertains to watching sports.
Interesting. All right.
We should break, but we're not going to. Go ahead.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
The Lynx have put the W in a WNBA all season, and they'll be looking to put a fat L on the Mystics in Washington tonight. You know, guys, we started the show talking about Parker and Taylor ceding their spot as the top Minnesota power couple.
Yep.
You know, for months now, I've fallen in the Froch's poll, similar to the coach's poll, but it's the Froch's poll. Because for the longest time, I was number one with a bullet, but Olivia Miles has not only stolen the top spot in the Froch's poll, she's also stolen all of our hearts here in the Twin Cities. She was stealing some ankles against the Valkyrie earlier this week. In the process of stealing said ankles, she rolled her own, but is listed as probable for tonight's action. Some people call her the show. Some people call her the Fro. We simply call her the MVP. And if she's in, the Mystics are going to need Hermione, the Wicked Witch of the West, and more to stop her and the Minnesota Lynx.
She's got a little Anthony Edwards where she goes down like in a heap.
Yeah.
And I've been in a couple of games where she's gotten hurt, and she's missed like no time. Like by the end of the game the other night, she's on the ground. They're bringing the towels around for privacy. They're helping her off the court. Doesn't look good. You're always looking about what are they grabbing, what's going on. And then you see it's her ankle. It's like, okay, sprained ankle, hopefully, not Achilles, not ACL. And then 10 minutes later, she's just back on the bench, and the team doesn't need her because they've already kind of separated. Kayla McBride hit the night, which was absolutely gangster in the house that Steph Curry built. By the way, pretty easy Halloween costume for you this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
You mentioned the Fro.
Oh, easily.
Just get some goggles and you're good.
That's all I need, really.
Can we get you some goggles?
Get some goggles and the jersey, and I'm good to go. Yeah. Sometimes I'm scrolling too fast on Twitter, and I think she is me sometimes.
It is funny how many people are wearing wigs and goggles. That's the new bit at Target Center. Including some people that shouldn't be.
No, probably not.
But that's part of the fun.
Exactly. Maybe if they make the finals, we need the good people at Target Center to have Fros and goggles on everybody's
Yes,
seats.
There should be a goggles night.
Yes.
For sure. No, it's amazing that every little litmus test. We talked a lot about the Lynx yesterday after that game against Golden State. And Washington's kind of a sneaky team. There's some people that follow the W closer to me that are actually kind of sneaky worried low-key about Washington in the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't figured out why. I'll have to watch tonight maybe to figure out why. But I think they're younger. I haven't watched the all 10 of them lately, so I don't really know. But every week recently, there's been like the next litmus test. Like 2 weeks ago, they had that 4-game homestand. They somehow lose to LA, who's not good. But in that homestand, it was the Fever, who were red hot.
Yeah.
coming in with Sophie Cunningham, who was white hot on all of her stuff. So that was the whole thing. That was the whole subplot of that game. And they just, like, dismissed the Fever. Like, it got kind of dicey at the fourth quarter. I think the lead got cut to 5, but it was like, nope, we're good there.
There was no problem.
Then Vegas, defending champ, Asia Wilson, MVP, Fee's back, shuts her down. Like, okay, thank you. Paige Beckers, Dallas, came in. They were playing well. Non-factor. Another dub. The other night, Golden State. Everybody loves them. They're like the greatest story in the WNBA. Expansion franchise, a fun coach, fun style play. They're rugged. They sell out every game. Apparently, they call the Chase Center Valhalla.
I love that.
Which I got so sick of. I was watching USA, and they kept bringing it up over. And the Lynx they were up by 21, then they were up by 15. It's like, here comes Valhalla. I'm like, no, they're not. Valhalla's not here.
It's not here. Right.
Stop, Cash Patel. There's no Valhalla right here. All right. And so I was annoyed by that. But same thing. They're the 2 seed. They were 14-5 at home. And it got a little dicey. 7 points in the fourth. Cheryl Reeve called a timeout. I think Kayla McBride had 4 points right out of it. And then Olivia Miles hit a 3, and the game was basically over. It's like they just, like, shoo them out of the way. My point to that is they have to win the title.
Yeah. It'd be the biggest disappointment.
They just, like, there is no one, and this sounds weird to say because those teams that I just mentioned, the defending champs, number one. Can't forget about the Liberty. They've obviously not had a great season, but they've got great players and pedigree. We know about the Fever. They are so far ahead just of every other team, record-wise, stylistically, efficiency, point differential. You just go down the list. They're the one team in the WNBA right now, the draft odd or the DraftKings odds have them as like a minus, as a favorite. Like, you have to put up like 110 to win 100. Every other team's a plus size.
That's crazy.
So that's what's crazy is it's going to be hard to win a title because it just is. They have to.
They have no choice.
They've been so good.
They've been so far ahead of every other team. It's not even. They still have single-digit losses. They're top 5, top 3 in pretty much every conceivable category. And, I mean, the MVP of the league is a rookie on the team.
And their second best player missed like 30 games.
Yeah.
Who's also an MVP candidate.
Runner-up MVP
when she's in.
Year. Yeah.
It's crazy, but that's the situation that they're in. And they've got like an 18-day like FIBA break coming up. They've got a couple more games next week, including one here Monday night against Golden State, where they'll probably win by 15. And then they got a break, and then they wrap up the season, and then it's the playoffs. But it's like they need to it's just crazy to think how dominant they've been, that if they just lose in the finals, people are going to be like, what happened?
Yeah.
Which is not where we typically are.
No. And I'm not saying we'll never have faith in them again, but it will make the regular season considerably less fun from here on out if they don't end up cashing in.
Which is so stupid.
Yeah.
But they've had, and Cheryl, the USA people even brought this up. Cheryl Reeve brought that up kind of herself, though. She kind of owned it and said, the last 2 years we've been outstanding in the regular season. And if they call a travel on Breanna Stewart, they already have their 5th title.
Yeah.
Okay? Which is still, that will forever make me mad. That whole scene. The skyline dress from the commissioner.
I hate it.
The ESPN announcers, all of it. I hate all of it. The tweet from the WNBA saying the title's back home.
Ugh.
Ridiculous.
It instantly added to the pantheon of disappointments here in local sports.
So, and then last year they completely flamed out, losing to Phoenix. Cheryl got tossed. Bad scene. So they know. They're well aware. And I'm sure they would view it as a massive disappointment if they don't win. But it's just odd that's the standard for this team. It's crazy. But it's deserved because they've been amazing. And I love watching it.
It's so much fun, man. It's the best.
We got anything else?
Yeah, I got a couple more things.
All right, we're going to go to 27. So,
all right,
yeah.
Cool.
So you let it breathe.
All right, let's do it. All right, this one's a stretch, Gaardsy. So
I love it.
Stay with me for a second.
You got to try things.
Exactly.
Like we said during the break, you got to try things.
Shoot or shoot.
Exactly.
To quote 21st century philosopher Alan Ezell Iverson, practice. We talking about practice, not the game, but practice. And we have been talking about Vikings-Ravens practice all week. But tomorrow, we get to talk about the game as the Vikings host the Ravens for preseason game number 2. In that infamous AI, the real AI, by the way, rant, he said the word practice 22 times. But don't expect to see number 22, Derrick Henry, or any of the Ravens or Vikings starters, as neither team are expected to play their starters. Allen Iverson's nickname was The Answer.
Sure was.
And J.J. McCarthy will be looking to answer the QB2 question tomorrow, as he is expected to get the start as usual. You can hear all of the action right here on 100.3 KFAN. And following the game, a certain handsome caramel-complexioned young man will be filling in for Nordo on Vikings Fan Line.
I love that. Good luck. I couldn't
whoever he may be. Yeah, good luck to that.
Yeah, good luck to that guy.
Good luck to that guy.
Life comes at you fast. Think about the year that J.J. McCarthy has had.
Yeah.
Think about a year ago what J.J. McCarthy was doing to get ready for preseason game number 2. Nothing. Because he wasn't going to play.
Feet up.
Yep. He was watching film of the joint practices. He was loving life as QB1. Everything was gold. Everything was gravy.
The 9-bit was still working.
It was. And now he's fighting for his professional life. And the whole thing is just so odd because he's got to be bitter.
Of course.
And they had to bring another quarterback in. I think we all agree with that. But he's annoyed. KOC's been annoyed with JJ. That's been kind of reported.
Yeah.
Just on all the stuff last year, the grittying into the end zone, the 9 stuff, all that stuff. The fans not loving it.
No,
he's not
turned.
Exactly. He's not necessarily going into the most welcoming environment tomorrow. The groans will be audible if he airmails it over, tight end 4 tomorrow, who he's going to be throwing to because none of the other starters are going to play. It's just an odd scene. And if we had more time with guessing, I was going to bring that up. Just the odd. I kind of did that. KOC's having to declare who the backup quarterback is, which to me is just insane behavior because
we're demanding it.
Well, yeah, I know. We're obsessed with it. Is it Wentz or is it JJ? It's we're cooked either way. Now, Wentz is better. I would have more faith in having Wentz out there for a short stint than anybody else, provided that he's healthy. But it just shows you where we are in camp, that's the number one story of, was he going to be the backup? If Kyler got hurt against the Packers, who would go in? It does him no good to say, yeah, it's open, because it's already weird with JJ.
Yeah.
This whole thing is weird.
And it's going to continue to be weird, and that's why you got to wonder if he's going to he needs a new scene.
Yeah, and Daniel House, our in-studio guest in the 3 o'clock hour, brought that up. He said he probably will need a fresh start at some point, which is, again, just crazy when you think about how excited they were to draft him, how excited we all were after that Raiders game 2 years ago, before he tore his meniscus. Even after week 1 last year when he came back to beat the Bears, he was terrible, then he was good. They win the game. Troy Aikman saying, that guy just won the locker room right there. Those fourth quarter drives. It's unbelievable.
The Vikings so badly wanted him to be the guy. The fans so badly wanted him to be the guy.
Yep.
He got the keys to the whip. And then that month 11 payment didn't go through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Wells Fargo started calling and say, brother, we're going to need those keys back.
Yeah.
That loan, that payment for that loan didn't go through.
Late fee.
We're going to need that. We're going to need them keys back.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is.
Tomorrow's going to be odd.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I will not watch a second of tomorrow's game.
I don't blame you.
I watched a lot of the first game. I hope if you're interested, I'm not going to tell you not to watch it. If you're interested and you want to see him play, you want to listen to Nolan Teasley, because it sounds like he's going to be on the third quarter tomorrow. Watch it, listen to it. The simulcast is always fun. I love Lieber in the booth with Pete. I think that's fun. I think it's a different side of Lieber, which is cool to see. So go ahead and do that, but I will not be watching a second. I am exercising my right as a football fan to take the month of August back. The NFL, as I've said for years, has given us our August back with how they handle preseason football. I'm going to take the gift, and I'm going to be doing some other things tomorrow.
I'm proud of you, Gaardsy.
Thank you. I feel brave. But I feel like if I can say that publicly, I'm allowing others to say that publicly.
You're giving everybody permission to be like, okay, we don't have to pretend.
Yes, I feel like
it's not your job to talk about this, and even if it is, which it is ours, and I wouldn't be either if I wasn't hosting Fan Line.
Yep. Yeah, you probably should watch.
I probably should.
Yeah.
I still might not, but I probably should. I mean, I'm with Ron. He'll take the ball.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. He'll demand it.
Does he have a Twitter, by the way?
I'm not sure. You should make sure you write that down before the show tomorrow.
He doesn't really talk about himself too much.
Yeah, my next show after today will be day 1 of the State Fair, because I'm off next week too. So by then, Vikings Ravens will be in the distant past.
Yeah.
So I'm not feeling a lot of guilt.
I don't blame you.
But if I can help one person, If I can help one person get to that point tomorrow,
You've done your job.
where they don't feel like they have to watch the game, then I feel like I've helped. And that's what I'm about, helping and elevating others. You got one more?
Yes, sir. I got a quick one. One half of the Splash Brothers is bouncing over to the beach as Klay Thompson
Saw that.
is headed to the Heat. How about that? Got his contract bought out by the Dallas Mavericks. You know, the Warriors were a water park with him and Steph Curry shooting the lights out in every arena in the country. But his time with the Mavericks, and you'll be familiar with this, Gaardsy, as a parent, it was more like a splash pad. It's not quite a water park, more like a splash pad. Averaging 11 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist last season. But he did, however, play in 69 games. Shout out to my guy, Zacho. And now Klay heads to South Beach, hoping to make some waves with Giannis and Bam.
Yeah, that will be, I guess, I can't decide if he's washed.
Right.
Or if this will be perfect.
I'm wondering that too, but that's exactly the kind of guy that you're hoping for when you're Giannis and you signed the Heat. You're hoping that those are the dominoes that fall. Those guys that you know got it and maybe can reach back into that bag, unlock a little bit of their old self, and come help you out with some outside shooting.
Right, and they have to be affordable.
Right.
Because of the money Giannis is making, because of Bam's money. Like, that's the other part of it is you kind of have to bet on the come up for some guys or the get back. Like you got to bet on the guys that are, maybe have just a little bit left that just want to play for a good team. Those are it kind of reminds me of the KG era here at the end. You were just like trying to milk whatever you could out of just random dudes. I'm pulling for him because I love that dude.
Yeah. He's great, man.
Just as a shooter and as a player and the whole bit.
In the Eastern Conference, outside of the 76ers and the reigning champs, I think the Eastern Conference is just kind of waiting there to be had.
That's what's funny is, and maybe we'll get into this a little bit later after Johnny, and you and I should talk about this because we were on Run It Back Island all those years ago together.
Yeah.
I'm still not buying the East.
Me neither.
Like, people are talking about like how good it's going to be and how rugged it's going to be.
Is it?
And I'm still like, I know Denver's done literally nothing. Like, poor Jokic. Yeah. Like, he might just stay in Serbia with the horses.
Honestly, he probably should, yeah.
Because, they just had to trade, Peyton Watson, right? They're losing. They've literally done nothing.
Jamal Murray's just a shell of himself.
Like, there's some people that were speculating that, Aaron Gordon might just be there for the taking.
Really?
Someone could trade for Aaron Gordon, which, by the way, if he's healthy, I would take him.
Absolutely. He's killed the Wolves so many times. I would love to have him on this team.
And he'd be a perfect fit for us with what we need.
Honestly.
But to think that Aaron Gordon would be available to me is funny. But you just think about OKC, you think about San Antonio Davey, obviously the Wolves. I think the Lakers are going to be sneaky just because Luka. If Luka's healthy, I know their lineup is weird, and I'm not an AR-15 guy. And Walker Kessler, we'll see. I'm not quite ready to just go all in on the East. It's this juggernaut.
Me neither. There's the 76ers who will obviously be there. The Knicks will obviously be there. Boston's going to be significantly worse. I think Detroit proved last year that they're phonies. They're fraudulent. They've
got more to prove.
Yeah.
Cleveland, we're giving James Harden $35 a year again. It's okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I feel like I've seen this movie.
Pretty much, if you keep going outside of those top 3 teams, we've seen that movie before. So the Heat have an opportunity there for sure.
Yeah, we'll see what the Pacers have with Halliburton coming back.
That's true.
But, I don't know, man.
I'm not buying it either.
I don't know.
That's why I'm still rubbing my hands together at the possibility of the Wolves moving over to the Eastern Conference.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. They will. All right, great job. Good work.
Hey, thanks.
Plenty of seasoning. Plenty of seasoning.
I brought the Lowrys, I brought the Old Bay, a little garlic salt and everything.
I like it. When we come back, we will get Johnny Athletic's reaction to the big Timberwolves news today. I taped a conversation with him earlier because he had some stuff going this afternoon. We will replay that when Bumper to Bumper continues.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Choice.
All right, the big Timberwolves news of the day. Gaardsy back in for Barrero. Max here as well. Was that the Mark Lore era of taking his shoes off courtside, which he hasn't done in a long time, is over. We learned that he is selling controlling interest in the Wolves in links to Mark Stad, who has been a limited partner in the ownership group. Lore's going to remain as a limited partner, but it is the Mark Stad and Alex Rodriguez show. And by the way, his wife, Alyssa, we will get to the bottom of that, will be technically the governor of the Wolves. That was Mark Lowry's job. A-Rod, the governor of the Lynx. I mentioned Lowry will still be involved. The valuation, in case you're wondering, $4.5 billion is the valuation that Lowry is selling for. You may recall he and A-Rod bought the team for 1.5. So if you see Mark Lowry in Manhattan, make him buy you a drink because it's going good for him. It's going pretty good for him right now. A-Rod got a different percentage as well. He's apparently investing in the team. But when this stuff happens, we got to find Johnny Athletic. And that's what I did a little bit earlier today to figure out what exactly is going on here. Johnny, about 4 seconds after the news broke on this, you had multiple stories up in The Athletic and theathletic.com. So I'm gathering it wasn't as huge a surprise to you as it was to those of us that learned about it this morning. But kind of let us in a little bit. And how long has something like this been in the works? And how surprised were you that just a couple of years after Mark Lowry jumps in, he is now kind of out?
Yeah, I mean, Gaardsy, it was definitely a surprise. I certainly kind of started to catch wind of it just very recently. I didn't find out about just this morning, but it was really kind of in the infant stages. But from having more conversations with people afterward, it just sounds like this was in the works for a couple of months. There had been, kind of some rumors about Mark Lowry's financial solvency, his dedication to Wonder, the company that he's trying to take public. And we saw all of last season, Mark Lowry was not around very often at all.
Correct.
He was really dedicated to Wonder and to getting this thing built. And so to have this come now, it's surprising in a way because, Mark Lowry was super enthusiastic about the Wolves and Lynx. He loved being the owner. He loved sitting courtside and being out front and doing all those things. But at the same time, just when you look at where valuations of teams are going and what he bought in for and what he's trying to do with this other company, I guess it makes sense in the bigger picture that it did happen. But for a guy who talked about owning this team for 30 years and, kind of building the arena and doing all of these things to be out essentially after a year and a half, it's still pretty shocking.
What's the A-Rod part of this deal in terms of his percentages and everything? What have you learned about all that and how that works? Because this is a good day for him, too.
Great day for him. Because one of the things that Wolves fans need to understand about this deal, we saw last week the Los Angeles Lakers went abruptly up for sale and changed hands completely. An entirely new ownership group bought the team from Mark Walter, who is in all sorts of distress. And so there's a whole lot of questions about what the future of the Lakers look like because they have these brand new owners that are going to come in. With this situation, you have Mark Stad, who was a limited partner in the ownership group. So it's essentially a restructure, a reorganization rather than a complete transfer of power. And so in that, you have Stad and Alex Rodriguez have a very good relationship. Alex Rodriguez is actually going to increase his holdings with the Timberwolves and Lynx and going to become even more of kind of like the front man for this group because Mark Stad is a super private guy. He lives in California. He will make appearances here. You'll see him at games and things like that. But my impression and just talking to people around who know him and know how this is going to work, he's going to be behind the scenes. You're not going to see him a lot. He's going to be, him and his wife Alyssa are going to be making the calls and ultimately have the final say. But Alex is going to be the public-facing element of this ownership group. And you're going to see him all the time in Minnesota. You're going to see him interacting with fans, communicating directly with Finch and Connolly and the players. And he's just going to be much more of the public-facing part of this thing. And so, he was already there, but he's got even more kind of influence and prominence today than he did yesterday.
And tell us a little bit about Mark Stad, what we need to know about him. It seems like a pretty amazing story from what I read and you can fill in all the details, but first person in his family to go to college, he goes to Harvard, and the rest is kind of history. He's seems like he's got a pretty good head on his shoulders.
It seems like it. Yeah, I'll just preface all this I'm just getting to figure this out. So I got a lot of work to do to get a full picture of who he is. But the initial story that we've heard is, first person to go to college goes to Harvard. When he gets to Harvard, he doesn't have enough money for a coat. So he has to get to the Harvard has an endowment fund for winter coats for people who come in and can't afford it when they get to Cambridge. And so he needed to take advantage of that. And then lo and behold, he kind of builds his way up into this tech investor wonderkind. He's 47 years old. His investment group, Dragoneer, basically at the forefront of many of the major tech companies that you've heard of, OpenAI, DoorDash, Uber, all sorts of different companies that they got in on the ground floor of. And so he's got more than $35 billion in assets that he manages. I don't know what his net income is or what his net worth is, but from what I'm told, he has certainly a lot more money than Mark Lowry did. And so he and his wife kind of take things over. His wife, Elisa, is kind of figures really prominently and on the board at the University of California, San Francisco hospitals. They funded a pain clinic for children who are going through debilitating pain. So she's very much in the health kind of field, and she's going to be the governor of the team and kind of handling a lot of the day-to-day obligations of the controlling owner. Mark's dad is still going to be very involved in making, calls and making decisions, but Elisa is going to be a little bit more directly involved with the board of governors and things like that. So when you look at it just from a 30,000-foot view, it's an impressive couple. They've built themselves up from scratch. They're worth billions. They're now in a position to buy controlling interest of a team before they're 50 years old. That's all incredible. Now, as you step into the public light more with a position like this, more information becomes available. So we'll see what kind of trickles out over the next weeks and months about who he is, where his money comes from, and all of that. But on the surface level, it looks like he has a ton of money, that they're really involved in trying to help children who are going through difficult situations. And he's coming in and going to be very aggressive and trying to turn the team into a championship level team.
Bonus Johnny Athletic on the Wolves ownership news of the day. Gaardsy in for Barrero today. You mentioned the financial solvency of Mark Lowry and A-Rod, really, and that was part of the dispute and part of the reason why we all had to learn what trenches were for those of us that don't work in the financial industry. There was always the perception, real or not, that these guys maybe didn't have the liquidity that they needed. I know Lowry took that very personally. Obviously, that's not his problem anymore, but does this move kind of signify the end of that era where if Tim Conley, if he's still here, maybe we'll talk about that in a second, wants to, jump into the second apron or pay the luxury tax, it seems like finances won't be the reason that they won't. Transactions and all the limitations of the second apron aside, the financial footing of the organization, at least in ownership, feels like it's more stable today. Is that fair?
I think that's fair to say, Gaardsy. Like you said, Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez really pushed back on a narrative that has really dogged them since they first joined the ownership group, that they really didn't have the money, because what they would point to is two things. One is, hey, we have been paying the luxury tax, including making this LaMelo Ball trade that put us back into the luxury tax. And then the second part is that the NBA's board of governors vetted them financially and deemed them to be solvent enough to own a team, so they gave them the approval. They wouldn't have approved them if their liquidity, if their financial resources were really in peril. That said, whenever you make a move like Mark Lowry did, where you essentially own the team for a year and a half, and then you're punting out of it, it does kind of lend some credence to some of the concerns that people had about, does this guy really have enough money to keep the lights on, to pay everything that you have to pay to keep a franchise running and really competitive. Mark's dad, it appears, is not nearly as on the razor's edge with any of the financing, with any of that stuff. So I do think that, the days of wondering if a certain decision was money related or otherwise are probably going away. But we still have to see how they operate under this new leadership, and if Mark's dad puts his money where his mouth is on that front.
Last couple for Johnny. Where does Tim Connolly fit into all of this? And how do we think he feels about all of this as a guy who just podcasted with him?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So what I do know is, like, Tim Connolly knows Mark's dad. They have interacted before. And I know that Mark's dad looks at Tim Connolly as one of the very biggest assets this team has, along with Anthony Edwards and the players. But, like, when you look at what this front office is and what has been built into, Mark's dad believes that it's really important to keep this front office together as much as possible. Tim Connolly has 1 year left on his deal, so he is in a high leverage point situation. I can tell you that Alex Rodriguez and Mark Laurie have had conversations with Tim about extending, and so I think those conversations will only continue with Mark's dad. I don't get the sense, Gaardsy, that it's just strictly money related in terms of why there hasn't been an extension yet. I think that Tim is in the position of power here. If he were to become a free agent, he'd have 5 more offers tomorrow waiting for him. And so it kind of behooves him to just kind of take it day by day. But I would expect that you will see plenty of push and aggression from now Mark's dad and Alex Rodriguez to try and get Tim Connolly locked up, because he's just so highly thought of and highly valued.
So if it's not money, what is it? It can't be power. He's got a lot of it, including, I think, an ownership stake, right? So what else could Mr. Connolly be after, if not all those things?
I mean, so I think, like, he's talked with you guys, on the show a couple of times. Like, his outlook is kind of one where I think he feels great about what he's accomplished, and so I don't think it's this thirst for status, for power, for money. I think that he just wants to make sure that this is a place he wants to be living in for the next 10 years or more. Like, that this is, like, with his young family, that, they have family out on the East Coast, and maybe, they want to have some flexibility and just be able to spend more time. I'm not sure. So, like, what I do know is that if it were merely about money, I believe the deal would already be signed, and, like, he would already be locked in. And so I just think that there are other considerations that they're looking at for a more holistic perspective that will ultimately kind of make the decision of whether they're here or not in the long term. Now, when you have someone like Mark's dad come in with the financial backing that he has and the relationships that he has, I'm sure that helps things, but it's just, that's all I'll say. I just think there's a lot more that's involved in whatever decision is going to be made here, and it's probably going to take a little time for that to kind of get sorted out before we know one way or the other what's going to happen.
Lastly, what's your read on why so many organizations are changing hands? We've already mentioned the Lakers, the Seattle Seahawks just got sold. Obviously now we have this Wolves deal where the valuation, now, first of all, the valuation that Glenn sold for was criminal when you think about it, and there's a reason why he wanted to keep it. And I'm sure his limited partners are pissed off today, which I would be too. So they bought they got a discount for sure. We've all talked about it. But what do we make of this HGTV flip or flop franchises going on here, NBA and otherwise?
Yeah, I think the issue right now, Gaardsy, is that the franchise valuations have exploded over the last 5 years or so, and that is requiring a different amount of capital to buy a team like this. There are no more Glenn Taylors sitting in Mankato who just decide on a whim, I'll pay $88 million for this team and see what happens. Like, we are now in the level when you're talking $4 billion, $5 billion, $10 billion, $12 billion, like the Lakers went for. You're talking about just like private equity. You're talking about multiple owners in the group. You're talking about a new wave of ownerships that they don't buy it as a public trust in general. Like, they are looking at it as an investment. And if they can flip it, they will. And the other part about it, which I think the bigger issue is that the NBA has valued, above all, let's just get these valuations as high as possible. We're not going to really look at who's buying these teams as much anymore. We're not going to concern ourselves with that. If we can say that the value of a franchise has risen, that reflects well on us. But I don't think that the Lakers / flip reflects well on the league at all. I think it's a little different here with the Timberwolves because everything is still in-house. But we're just getting to a point where all of these teams are so dang expensive that it requires a level of investment that brings an entirely different mindset into the equation here. And so I don't know what the NBA can do about it, but it is a concern to me when you are seeing teams just like being held for a year, 2 years, and then being sold again. I don't think that's good for the league.
Johnny, thank you. We will see you at the State Fair.
Oh, man, right around the corner. Can't wait.
John Krasinski with instant reaction to the Timberwolves sale, in a sense, from Mark Lowry to Mark Stad. Not Mark Lowry's dad, which a lot of people on Twitter and Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line noted. Who's Mark's dad? No, it's not Mark's father. It's not Maury Povich.
No Maury necessary.
No, it's Mark Stad. We think that's how you say his name. When you say it quickly, it does sound like Mark Stad. We'll give some more texts on that. We've also got a couple of more topics to get to before we are done at 6:30. Went a little long with Johnny there because my clock management was not good. It happens from every once in a while, but it's Friday. What the hell are we going to do? We got the fair right around the corner, the whole deal, including something about not youth sports getting expensive, because I do that a lot, and we all know that is, but just the mere act of going to a game. Max and I talked about it. We're the Sezzle generation. Paying for, baby.
Absolutely.
Is that the only chance we have? I think it might be. We're going to talk about that as well in the last half hour of the show.
In for Barrero, this is Justin Guard on The Fan.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
KFAN welcomes some great shows to the Legend Amphitheater this year, including Blues Traveler and Gin Blossoms on September 12th. Get the complete details on all our upcoming shows on the concert page at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Couple of texts. This is going to be a short segment before we get to the 6 o'clock half hour. Gaardsy in for Barrero today. Max as well. Max did the top 5 at 5. Reviewing some of those, I had the text line down, 64686. So I'm just getting caught up on some of the things off of your top 5 at 5.
Really?
Yes. Let me read. Let me pump your tires here for a minute. Max is so freaking good at this radio thing.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
Max is the real deal. He is very talented.
Appreciate you, Grandma.
Kind of rude of Max, though, to be that good on the top 5 with JG sitting right there.
Come on now. I was a little rusty. You know, I ain't giving you a run for your money, Dave.
Oh, no, you are. Trust me. You know why? Because you put a lot more effort in the top 5 at 5 than I do.
Well, you do it every day.
Brett he'll always ask me when he fills in, are we doing the top 5? He'll ask me at like noon.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, do you have enough time? Or he'll come in during the basketball season to fill in for me. He's like, are you staying for top 5 at 5 or do I have to do it? So when he'll come in at like 4:45, I'm like, hey, you ready for top 5? And I'll look and be like, okay. Wolves, Vikings, Twins, Lynx. Okay, I'm good. I show him a little post-it.
Yeah.
And then Dan will talk. And most of the time, as you know, because you filled in with Dan, and as the audience knows, and as Dan admits, most of the time, Dan is not listening to me during the top 5 at 5,
Nope.
Especially if we've been talking politics in the 4:30 segment. He is buried in the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line. So I could say anything, and I have at times in the top 5. So
100%. I put the same amount of flair when it's Dan in that chair, and it let's just say it goes a little unnoticed.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's just part of the deal.
It is.
It's fine because I get in here too. I get all huffy when I'm over in that chair.
Right.
And then I get over here and you or Brett or Zach or whoever will say something and I'm not listening. It's just, It just comes with the territory.
Right. There's a million things going on.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. There was one other top 5 at 5. Oh, the other thing that came out of the top 5 at 5 was your 33-hour bus ride on the Megabus.
Yeah.
Your first vacation ever was to go watch 3 episodes of Maury.
Absolutely.
In New York City. Larry Mondello guy says 33-hour drive to New York. Does the Megabus take side streets the whole way? Is there an 8-hour layover in Cleveland? What is the layover situation?
There was actually a pit stop in Cleveland, which in on my way there and on my way back, it is the grayest city in America.
I believe that.
I 100%. I mean, Joakim Noah was not lying. Real ball knowers know. If you know, And I think there was a stop at Penn State and a couple other places, but I was busy passing the time with some libations on the bus.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
And I would be so hammered on a megabus.
Oh, 100%. We had the Henny bottle. Oh yeah, we made it last because all the boys had to pull it together for that Henny bottle. But that was the least of the bus driver's worries.
612 text. This is the best. Get Max off the morning show. He needs to spread his wings.
Oh, come on now. No, I love the morning show. I'm spreading my wings all over the place.
I think they could be spread further. Let's just say there's plans. My buddy from back in the day was, quote, not the father. He had a watch party at his place, and it was electric.
Dog, I need more of the background on that story. That guy needs to text it again because that is incredible.
That is Carl in Cottage Grove. Carl, we need more info. Max, I did the same, but went to Chicago for Jerry Springer. Best spring break ever.
Now, see, that's one that I really regret that we didn't stay long enough because it's all in the same building, just different days. So I wish I could have saw Jerry before he went, man, because that would have been real prime. And your boy would have been one of the people at the end of the episode that roast somebody on the stage. I mean, come on now.
Lori Fisher from Fox 9, spring break in college, somehow ended up partying with Jerry Springer.
No way.
In Cancun, yes. She has pictures, and
I can't even imagine her being in the vicinity of Jerry Springer.
No, and now this weekend she's taking her oldest son to college. That's how
life comes at you fast.
We said it with J.J. McCarthy. The best example of that, in my opinion, is Cisco.
Yeah.
And he's one of us now.
He is. I got to meet him at Fox 9.
Yes. And that's my favorite part is he lives in Maple Grove now. He's just a suburban dad. And he's just amongst a bunch of suburban moms who love the thong song.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you even do that? How do you even look him in the eye and be a normal, you know what I mean? Like to me, that's the funniest situation is all these, Lori Fisher age moms.
Yeah.
Just meeting Cisco. And this man made a song about your underwear. And you're just supposed to share parent pickup? We're just supposed to think it's just normal.
You're chatting it up about the Twins winning streak in the quick checkout aisle of Target with the guy that made the thong song.
Right. Yeah. It's just, to me, that's the best. How do you just go to normal suburban life when you did the thong song? Every husband has to hate him.
Oh, 100%. Because I'm sure you saw it because you were there the day that he was there at Fox, were you not?
Yeah, we came later. Yeah, I came later.
It still is a procession of roses at his feet wherever he goes. The aforementioned Lori Fisher, we had to pry her out of his dressing room.
I believe that. I totally believe that. Max is the real deal Frolyfield.
Oh, I am putting that in the folder, brother. Thank you for that one.
Maxwell Button Bar, welcome to the spotlight, young man.
Oh, thanks, Rube Paul.
That from Rube Paul.
I didn't read it. Classic bumper to bumper bit, reading the text live on the air for the very first time. Rube Paul is a great name.
Very good. And then this is the last one, and something to think about. Is it best case scenario show now?
Oh.
JG and Maxo at the State Fair.
Let's do it.
I will say I will not be going to the State Fair any more than I need to. I love the State Fair. I love the shows that we do at the State Fair. I'm good with my participation at the State Fair.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. Yeah. And same thing with the Vikings preseason. Free yourself of the State Fair as much as you can.
We did get a text on that. Somebody did thank me for basically giving him permission to not watch and go do something else tomorrow.
Not all heroes wear capes. Sometimes they wear Gophers fitted hats.
That's what we're trying to do. We will get back to the final half hour of the show with basically, is it over? Is it over for normal fans? Is it over? Do you have to be one of the new Timberwolves owners if you actually want to go to a game? Or perish the thought, go to the Olympics, or go where I want to go next week, the U.S. Open. Do I have to win the Powerball of the Mega Millions? We're going to talk about that a little bit in our final couple of segments.
Justin Guard in for Barrero on The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report is...
Man, I'm annoyed with myself because I don't think we left enough time for this, but I want to at least get into it here, Max.
Yeah.
Gaardsy in for Barrero today. Final 20 minutes or so of the Bumper to Bumper show for the week. But it's about, on the day that the Wolves franchise gets sold for a $4.5 billion valuation. Not all of it, but enough of it where they have a new principal owner or majority owner, Mark Stad, not Mark Laurie's dad. Mark Stad is the new owner, and the valuation is $4.5 billion. I've had this kind of saved in the folder, and a lot of it has to do with the experience I just went through trying to buy Olympics tickets. I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on with the LA Olympics in 2028.
No, is it a disaster, I would imagine?
It's not a disaster so much, and this also comes on the heels of the World Cup, where we saw the ticket prices for that, right?
Yeah.
They were just absurd. And I get it. These are worldwide events. You're not just going to pull up with, a buy one, get one Great Clips coupon ticket pack.
Yeah, this isn't the Timberwolves back in 2012 where
Exactly.
you can buy a can of soup and get a couple of tickets.
Exactly right. And so, or what's going on with the Twins right now. I get it that these are, high profile major events. And the Olympic ticket thing, you had to be awarded a spot or won a spot. You had to enter the ticket drop and then your name was selected. Not unlike the Masters, for example, which I actually think does a good job of, this is going to be PST, making it affordable in that once you win the lottery, which is impossible.
Yeah.
The tickets aren't insanely priced. I think for a practice round, they're like $100 or $120. For a regular round, I think it's $150, which again, that's expensive, but it's also the Masters.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense for a day. And on the resale market, and they, I think, try to crack down on the resale market because that's what a lot of this comes down to. So for the Olympics, though, you win a spot, and we got one in drop 2. So it was last week.
Heck yeah.
You get 48 hours, and you log in and you see what's available. Now, for the big sports that everybody wants, gymnastics, basketball, swimming, there's not a ton there. In fact, for basketball and gymnastics, there was nothing. Just nothing available.
Yeah.
Mostly because those are packaged in hospitality packages that are $10,000 because they know they can get it.
Exactly.
Right? And so, okay, let's look at track and field. Okay, cheapest ticket available is $600. Just for a random day at track and field. You don't know who the people are going to be.
$600?
Yeah, so it was very expensive. So long story longer, I didn't buy any. Now they did have, I'm regretting a little bit. They have some $28 tickets for a lot of different events.
Taekwondo.
You'd be surprised how expensive that was.
Really?
I even tweeted about it. You could pay $350 to watch badminton. Just random group play badminton.
$350?
It's insane. So I regret that because you could buy up to 12 tickets. I regret I didn't buy a couple of $28 golf tickets just because you'd have them. And then if you wanted to go, because the Olympics have been in the States, the Summer Olympics, one time in my life that I can remember, 1996 Atlanta. Okay. This doesn't happen a lot. So it's super expensive. The U.S. Open, my sport, has become so unaffordable because it's become a place to be and a place to be seen. And they're basically stripping down a lot of stuff and bringing in more hospitality areas. Why? Because people will pay for them. There's a lot of money in New York. It's an international city. It's an unbelievable 3-week event. It's incredible what they've done. But there's just no way for the poor people like us to get there.
No.
To actually justify for the upper deck tickets, I think at face value, they're $100-some. But the problem is those get snapped up so quickly, and then where do they go? The resale market, right? And so I'm trying to figure out, because the prices aren't going to go down.
No, and that's kind of the same thing, the same problem that we're having with concerts these days is that people continue to pay these prices for whatever reason. Maybe we all just need to escape because everybody's depressed right now and broke. Because even some broke people like us are just whatever, I'll shell out this money because I just want a night out to have some fun. But the bubble's never going to burst if people don't stop paying the prices.
Yeah, and that's kind of when I talked about the youth sports thing a while ago. It's up to the parents to stop paying for the clubs.
Right.
The clubs exist because people pay for them. The money grabs exist because people are throwing money at them. The parents have to band together and say, no mas, we're out, we're done. So it is, you're right. And I'm not begrudging, and again, for the U.S. Open, for example, the tournament, they're trying to milk people for sure with all the premium areas and the hospitality stuff, and they should.
Yeah.
But what happens is, and this happened with Taylor Swift, right? It's the resale market that kills people. But what's the resale market? What people are willing to pay. And so I don't know if there's any way around that. And I guess the feedback I'd be looking for is, from what I was told, I did not get to buy Savannah Banana tickets. I did enter the lottery because I've got kids.
Right.
And kids love them. Or they love the idea of them. Thank God we didn't win and I didn't pay the money, because I think as cool as it was, I think they would have been bored within an hour, and it was 100 degrees at Target Field that day. I think it would have been a waste of money.
It's just something that everybody else is doing. Right. More the idea.
But they protect it, from what I'm told, with the lottery as much as they possibly can, where they protect. And I'd love to know what the prices were for that in terms of the face value, because that's our only chance, I think, is some type of lottery system where the quote unquote true fans can get in there. And I know, trust me, on the Amex pre-sales and everything else, I know there's ticket resellers that go on there. I've done that from time to time. My hands aren't clean in this. Okay. But it just, part of me, like, what got me started on it was all of that. And then a 34-year-old wrote like a guest opinion for the Star Tribune. And he just talked about, the $5 standing room only tickets that they got to watch baseball back in the day, or tickets averaging $50 when he went to his first Vikings game back in 2003 and he got a dome dog for $4. It's like, I get it when the franchises are worth this much money and the player salaries are skyrocketing. I get it. The money has to come from somewhere, but it's frustrating, not frustrating, but it's kind of deflating when so many people are just priced out before the tickets even go on sale.
You're pushing out a huge part of your core audience, and maybe you're cashing in right now, but 10, 15 years from now, when those kids didn't grow up going to Twins games, going to Timberwolves games, because it's also not super easy to watch them even at home now. Even that's more expensive.
That's the next point I was going to get to. You nailed it.
Now, all of a sudden, you find yourself with a lessening, a smaller and smaller fan base to even build your audience from, because nobody's got to experience it live or at home.
Yeah, we just got a text. Some of us are also struggling to justify the $1,200 it's going to take to watch a season of NFL games. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And
I feel like we just kind of get used to writing checks and doing all these things. But it is too bad when it's like news, when a team will do like family-friendly concessions. Like the Twins have like the family-friendly stand, or like the Atlanta Falcons very publicly said, here's the family-friendly cheap concessions, where you don't have to have a David Fema cheeseburger, right? Or a Gavin Kaysen, bougie croissant. And I love both of those guys.
Of course.
We don't text and talk more than people know. I'm not meat sauce, but they do a great job, right? But if you just want to get a hot dog, a pretzel, and popcorn like you're at a high school concession stand, like, you should be able to do that, but it shouldn't be just like news. Like, that's where, I don't know. I think overseas, they're much stricter on the resale.
I think so, too.
Like for Champions League soccer and things like that. That's what I've heard.
And it's still, and these are franchises that are valued at just as much, if not more, than some of these American team sports franchises, but they do a better job in kind of taking care of the supporters and making sure that they still can have those. It can still be a family-friendly thing and have people from all economic, socio and economic statuses in the building.
So let me know what you think about that. Bradshaw and Bryant, KFAN text line 64686. Have some good text there. Like I said, I should have planned better, because I definitely wanted to talk about this, but we had an epic top 5 at 5 for Max, and then we had the Johnny Krasinski interview. So it's not something that's going to go away. I don't think tomorrow all of a sudden there's going to be a big announcement that everything's affordable and we're good. This, I think, is only getting worse.
Unfortunately, it will be evergreen,
because people can pay it, and God bless them. Clearly, we're in the wrong business. We are in the wrong business. We made some poor choices, and I can only hope my kids one day will be able to take me to some of these events, because I don't think I'm going to be able to.
Justin Gaar.
All right, final segment of Bumper to Bumper Cake Show Edition, or as some have deemed it, best case scenario.
I like that.
I don't think I should co-opt worst case scenario. I think that should stay, but I just wanted to say it once.
It is fun to say, yeah, and it is always worst case scenario when your boy's here.
No, my favorite story along those lines was Swedberg came out of his office one time. I don't know if he was making a schedule or what he was doing. And Halby was in the little bullpen area in our, the old side. And Zach, he's usually like sprawled over like 4 chairs, depending on what time it is. And Swedberg comes out and says, Zach, what's the name of the show when you guys fill in? What do we call it? Because he was doing something. And Halby just goes, Worst case scenario. He's like, yep, thank you. And he just goes back into his office. It's one of my favorite things. Why do you both hate capitalism? I don't. I get it. I understand.
Listen.
It's not show friends, it's show business.
Right. And I get it, but they are allowed to make as much money and squeeze as much juice out of everyone as they want to. I just don't think they should.
New Wolves president got an example on the program saying there's no more cheapening their product with promotions, certain games, ticket prices, the whole deal. And what's interesting about the Wolves is, you know me, Timberwolves Breakfast Club member.
Yeah.
1989. This is my squad. They're one Anthony Edwards injury away from being cooked on this stuff.
100%.
And this is from someone who, good for me, has season tickets. Why do I have season tickets? Because when I bought them, they were $19 a ticket. They've gone up a lot, even percentage-wise, but they're still somewhat affordable. Hashtag blessed that they still have some of those, but they are towing a very precarious line here, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's getting dangerous. We even pointed out there shouldn't be any empty seats in the Target Center during the playoff run, and when we were in the media section, we could see some.
That's true,
and that's not because of lack of interest. It might be because of lack of funds.
Ticket resale markets or profit are a joke. Never should have been legalized here. That might be part of it. More to come. Like we said, it's not going anywhere. Great stuff, man. Thank you for coming today.
Appreciate you, Doc.
We will talk to everybody next week. The next time Dan and I together, day one of the Minnesota State Fair. Have an elite weekend, everybody.
Download the free